This is Danny Stygion, and today I'm going to be talking about the making of Solitaire. Solitaire was my first attempt at making a legitimate short film. I had made a bunch of experimental videos in my 20s, but I put filmmaking off to the side for a while, and I didn't revisit it until my mid-30s. That's Jay Short playing the man, and that's Tiffany Bessick playing the woman, the escort. The short film is about this man exploring his vices on his last night on Earth, such as women and drinking and smoking and gambling and playing solitaire. I'm a big fan of black and white cinematography and old detective movies and film noir, and that's kind of the vibe we were trying to go for as far as the look of this short. We shot it at a hotel room that we had rented in the Clear Lake area. They didn't know we were filming inside, so we kind of just did it guerrilla style, and they had no idea what we were up to. And I don't think anyone stayed in the room, actually, once we were done filming and left. It was an empty hotel room that was booked for the night. Jay struggled a little bit trying to zip up Tiffany's dress, but this was the best take that we had. This transition here was inspired by the Star Wars wipe transition. I really like this shot. Here we're trying to move the camera with Jay's movement to the table. We shot this short film with a Nikon D7100, which is a really good DSLR camera. It's the last DSLR I used for photography and cinematography before I switched over to full-frame mirrorless cameras. It's a really good camera, and I recommend it. I've owned several of them. We did this take several times as far as Jay playing solitaire. Jay's not much of a drinker, or I don't think he drinks anymore, so we were putting either water or Coke in that flask. But it's meant to be whiskey.
Is it all just a game?
It was a really nice room. I had like this, I think it was 2 rooms that were connected in a separate bathroom. But I had this small table by the front door, which worked out, and an actual living room area, which I don't think we shot in too much. You'll see a piece of it here in a minute, though. I like how these images are kind of overlaid on top of each other. Creates a nice little montage. This is Jay reminiscing of stuff from earlier in the night
Everything.
before he goes back into his past.
The correct choices and still end up losing.
Tiffany was a friend of Jack's,
That's the way I feel.
who Jack was the person who did the sound recording for this short film.
Solitaire in order to win. But there's no cheating in the life that I live.
We shot this in 2016, I believe, and released it in 2017. Jay grabs a switchblade or a straight razor. This scene was shot at a dock in Seabrook, and it was super foggy that day, which created this pretty cool, dreamy effect. We didn't want to show this girl's face, but she's meant to be a girl from his past that he was upset about. We don't explain really what happens between them. It's meant for the viewer to think about. The shot kind of drove me nuts for a while, but some people seem to like it. It's just one long take of the door slowly closing. And by the time it reaches the end of the door closing, Jay luckily is already opening it back up. But we were pretty confined and constricted with the space that we had as far as trying to get the angles we needed. And we only had the DSLR camera to shoot all these angles with, so we didn't have multiple cameras. We had to redo every angle. We did one rehearsal before we booked this hotel room to shoot this, and we shot this in one night. And if you are able to, I recommend trying to rehearse your short film with the actors, just so the process will go smoother. Sometimes you're limited on the amount of time that you'll have to shoot your project. Shorts, I kind of recommend you go for 3 to 5 minutes. I think Solitaire is close to 10 minutes, which is a lot for a first-time short film, I think. You should probably try it and go for something shorter.
Stop feeling.
I'm curious where Jay went to in his head for this scene.
My choices brought me here, but the circumstances led me the opportunities. My choices have led me to this same end.
I like the lighting here.
The house always wins.
This shot was kind of hard to pull off. There just wasn't much space. And this is definitely handheld, and we're trying to tie this image in with the image of the Suicide King playing card. And that's Solitaire. I'm proud of this short film, and I appreciate everyone that helped us make it. It had been a goal of mine for a long time to try and get into filmmaking, and this was definitely a good push in that direction. Our friends Jack Moline and Chris Balch and we all collectively edited Solitaire. Thanks for listening.